fuck did you turn this camera on? Like, oh, it's recording. Are you sure? Why don't you tell me? Get the hell out of my room! What do you want to score up? I swear, you want to score up? Oh shit! I'm actually wearing my pajamas. I can't. Yeah, we'll beef later. Ah shit! Get out! Fucking hell, I'm gonna kick his ass. Yo, stop! Yeah, I clapped them cheers real quick. Wait a minute, that's kind of what? Yo guys, what is up? In this video, I'm reacting to Film Theory. Dear Sonic, you suck at running. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, because Sonic runs at like 2 meters per second because he's slow. But let's find out what he's doing wrong and what I can prove on. I'm really ill. I'm about to sneeze. Okay, I don't want you guys to think I have corona or something. By the way, stay indoors. All right, if you go outside, I'm gonna kill you guys. Okay, stay inside. Don't go outside. All right, only go outside if you need to. Food necessary. All right, and yeah, stay inside. It's just an excuse to play video games. Why are you guys complaining? All right, let's go. Let's get into the video. 3, 2, 1.
Before we get into the meat of this episode, here's a quick mini
nose is
theory.
running so much. You guys didn't see this.
You know how in February Paramount announced a merchandising deal for the official Sonic shoes with Puma? And how the movie makes you feel all emotional when Sonic replaces his old worn-out shoes with his iconic red pair brought to him by Puma, not so subtly pushing you to buy a pair of new shoes for yourself? Man, wouldn't it be great if advertisers and movies
is that what the theory's about?
I don't know, disclose that sort of product placement and content targeting younger viewers just like online content creators have to?
I mean, that's what old people do.
Anyway, inequality
Everyone does
and governmental
that.
regulations aside, sure, this scene might seem like a shameless bit of product placement, but the reality is that Sonic was actually long overdue for a new pair of pumped-up kicks. Most running shoe manufacturers recommend replacing them every 300 to 500 miles, or 483 to 805 kilometers. And according to competitive runners and coaches, it's rare to get more than 1,200 miles, or 1,930 kilometers, out of a solid pair of shoes before they start to fall apart. Now, I bring that up because in our last episode, we calculated that the Blue Blur ran 1,100 miles in that sprint to the Pacific Ocean and back. That, plus the extra miles that he puts on when fighting Robotnik, means that he is well overdue for a replacement pair by the time that they reach San Francisco. And that's assuming he was starting the road trip with a fresh pair of shoes to begin with. So hey, maybe it wasn't just a shameless plug for shoes. Maybe it was just the movie trying to be factually accurate and a shameless plug for shoes.
Yep.
Hello, Internet!
Welcome to Film Theory,
the show that, ironically enough, has done more Sonic videos in the last year than our sister channel, Game Theory. Seriously, between doing Sonic videos over here on Film Theory and Marvel Strike Force videos over on Game Theory, it feels like the lines separating these channels are just getting blurrier by the day. So, to say that the Sonic movie was better than expected was an understatement.
Film Theory.
Sure, it probably won't be winning any awards, or heck, who knows at this point. Maybe it will, considering the number of movies with delays or canceled release dates at this point. So heck, it could win some awards just by default. Oscar Best Picture winner for 2020, Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyway, with it coming out for an early digital release this week, I wanted to talk about it one last time, because maybe it was just me, but didn't you think it was weird
made that
the way
movie
that
go to the
Sonic's
next level?
shoes had holes in them? Not them having holes. Obviously, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah,
no, what struck me as odd was where the holes were in the shoes. I don't know about you, but every time I've ever worn through a pair of shoes, it's always been in the heel. And yet a huge plot point in the Sonic movie is that he has holes in the toes.
I never worn through a shoe,
I mean,
which
that's
probably
the
says
thing
that I don't use them a lot.
Dr. Robotnik to scan Sonic's footprint and discover that he's dealing with some alien creature. So, is Sonic running wrong? I mean, far be it for me to lecture the Blue Blur on how he ought to be running. He's out there running over 1,000 times the speed of sound, meanwhile I'm here huffing and puffing after more than a light jog. He clearly doesn't need to take any running tips from me, but seriously, is Sonic going about this whole running thing all wrong? What is going on here? And what insights does this information give us about Sonic's overall running technique?
I'm not stupid.
Could the fastest thing alive actually be faster if he chose to run in a more efficient way? For any other character, we could probably start by looking at his running animation and not have to resort to this kind of observation to get a feel for how they run, but Sonic moves so fast that a 24 frames per second movie ain't gonna be enough for us to capture his full run cycle. I mean, depending on what frame you're looking at here, it looks like Sonic's either heel striking or forefoot striking. Let me explain what I mean by that. In the world of running, there are several schools of thought about the proper way to run. When you run, you can either forefoot strike, landing with the front of your foot hitting the ground first, or you can heel strike, landing with your heel hitting the ground first.
I think I heel strike.
The fact that Sonic shoes are completely worn through in the toe is highly indicative of the forefoot striking or toe running approach. And you see, that's interesting because that's actually not the method favored by elite competitive runners. Runners who compete to win in marathons mostly prefer the heel strike.
Maybe because they're not fucking hedgehogs.
One of the main reasons for that is that running shoes have a heel that is specifically designed for that sort of approach. For instance, take a look at the Nike Vaporfly shoe. You see immediately that the heel part is much thicker, and when resting flat, the toe doesn't even touch the ground. You'd be running with a pretty awkward gait if you tried to land toe first on these sorts of shoes. Looking at that clip again, notice how the runner's heel actually extends out at first, as if it's about to hit the ground, before the runner pulls back and strikes heel first. Simply put, elite runners heel strike because that's what the best running shoes are currently designed for. These kinds of running shoes improve a runner's speed by packing the heel with foam that gives the heel a bit of a bounce, allowing the runner to rebound off the ground better. It's the exact same idea behind the Air Jordans that literally have an air pocket in the heel. Much like an inflated basketball will bounce better than a flat one, a running shoe heel made of the right materials will give a runner better bounce than if they were running with a flat shoe. Lately, the idea of having air pockets or foam padding in the heels of shoes has gone to extreme levels. Those Nike Vaporfly shoes that I showed you are built with a special Zoom X
if you guys wear this for no use, it's just like
which, according to Nike's calculations, makes runners 4% more efficient.
4%.
Now, 4% might not seem like that big of a deal, but if you're an elite competitor trying to set a world record, that sort of extra efficiency might be enough to shave seconds, or heck, even minutes off of a marathon record time. And you know what? That's exactly what it's managed to do. In fact, that 4% has caused the Vaporfly shoes to dominate the competitive running world. In May of 2017, Olympic runner Eliud Kipchoge ran a marathon using the Vaporfly shoes and set a record of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39 seconds, beating the previous world record by a whopping 1 minute and 18 seconds. That might not sound like all that much, but when you're talking about marathon running times, that is a huge difference from the previous record. In 2019, though, he broke the record again. This time running the marathon in under 2 hours. His time, 1:59:40. And real quick, can we actually take a moment to recognize how impressive a real live human being running a 26.22 mile marathon in 2 hours is? I mean, that is the equivalent of running a mile in 4 minutes and 34 seconds, and then keeping that pace up for an entire 2 hours. Most of us can't even run a single mile, or heck, even a single lap at that sort of pace.
I can run 2 miles.
I mean, I know there's that old saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but it almost feels like these people are just straight up sprinting non-stop for 2 hours.
No, they just sound better than
that would make our buddy Sonic proud. But again, he did it wearing those Vaporfly shoes, which has led the entire sports world to ask, is it the shoes? That sounds like it's a joke or a line from an old Nike commercial, and well,
is it the shoes? It's gotta be the shoes!
It is a line from an old Nike commercial, but it's also a very real question that's happening in the sports world right now, which has caused the Vaporfly line and the world record marathon time that Eliud Kipchoge set while wearing them to become the center of controversy. According to sports science journalist Alex Hutchinson on Vox's Recode podcast, which, if you haven't listened to, is actually really fascinating.
The 5 fastest men's marathons in history have all been run in the last 13 months, all by runners wearing Vaporflies. If they don't act soon, it's going to be too late because the world records are going to keep dropping, and then they're going to be in a situation where if they try and restrict it, it's like, oh, well then all the times in the last 5 years or whatever have been run on quote-unquote illegal shoes.
Maybe Nike's fears of this sort of controversy are exactly the reason that when they first started testing the Vaporfly prototype out in real competitions back in 2016, they actually disguised them to look like other types of running shoes. No joke, they were undercover shoes for the first year of their existence. Again, from Alex Hutchinson during that same podcast.
Once Nike had these prototypes and they were pretty sure that they worked, they started giving out these disguised prototypes that were disguised to look like other shoes. And then at the Olympics in Rio, 2016, the top 3 finishers in the men's marathon were all wearing these disguised prototypes of a shoe that no one had ever heard of. And the winner of the women's marathon was also wearing a disguised prototype of these shoes.
Seriously, how wild is it that people are setting world records with some kind of futuristic Zoom X super foam running shoes, that people are talking about banning the shoe for being too good, and that the shoe company is actually having to disguise the shoe prototypes to secretly sneak them into competitions? The point of all of this is that yes, the shoes do matter, and what the shoes are built
math.
for is heel striking to give yourself that little bit of extra
Imagine
bounce
getting
with
to shoot
each
toe
step.
striking.
If Sonic is
That's what
4-foot
genius
striking
is.
or toe running like we see him do, he seems to be giving up a huge advantage. So does that mean that Sonic is actually running incorrectly?
Okay,
Well,
okay.
not necessarily. You see, all of this comes from the world of competitive running, where people are trying to shave a few seconds off their world record time, and that 4% of extra efficiency matters. But there are some runners who espouse a completely different viewpoint. The idea that 4-foot striking is actually a better, healthier, and more natural way to run.
hippies.
It's a big part of what drives the push towards
joking.
barefoot running that's gained so
joking.
much momentum over the last couple years. People who either choose to run completely barefoot or run in shoes with flat soles and no padded heels specifically designed to simulate a barefoot running feel. A study in the Journal of Applied
What is
Physiology
healthier?
examined the force exerted by people running barefoot on a treadmill and found that, when landing on their toes, a graph of the force experienced by the runner's body was a smooth curve. But when heel striking, there was this big spike in the
what the
force
fuck is-
curve. That spike
It
is
goes like
not
ching
only
ching
an
like my hairline.
unexpected jolt to your body each and every time that
Nice
you
feet.
land, a potential cause for injury, but it also interrupts the natural smoothness of the runner. The bounce of the heel striking the ground and the force of the runner pushing off the ground happen at slightly different times, throwing off the actual running motion of the body. For a human runner, odds are they're not going to notice the difference. But given Sonic's incredible
The
levels
speed.
of acceleration, he's
Yeah.
exerting a lot more force
Like
than a
50
normal
billion
human runner
newtons.
would. Just some quick back-of-the-napkin calculations here, but
How
reusing
much?
some of our numbers from the previous episode, during Sonic's run to the Pacific Ocean, he accelerates at a rate of 491.7 meters per
faster
second
than speed of
squared.
sound.
And if we go with his canonical weight of 35 kilograms, or
Yes.
77 pounds, that means that he's exerting 17,209 newtons of force. That's 3,869 pounds of force, which is
disgusting.
53.2 times his
His
own
body
body
weight.
weight. Compare that to
Jesus
the fact that
Christ.
human runners push off the ground with a force that peaks at about 2.5 times their
20
body
times
weight.
more.
Sonic's legs are pushing with more than 20 times
20
more
times more.
force than a typical
The fuck?
runner. And considering that fact, it makes it obvious why Sonic would rather run on his
He
toes
has, like, no
and
muscles.
rely on
He
the
just-
power
he
of his
just
own
a
legs
stick.
instead of striking with
Like
his
me.
heels and feeling that extra bit of jolt every single time his foot lands. So is Sonic running incorrectly?
No.
Well, for as weird as the toe holes seem to me, no. It appears that Sonic is
No.
running in the easiest, most natural,
Yep.
organic way that a two-legged humanoid can run. Nike, you may not like the fact that I'm broadcasting this message out to the
Yeah,
world,
you're
but
saying the
this
way
is
they're
the
running is
ideal
unhealthy.
running form. At least if you're a Mobian who's capable of pushing the ground
Yeah.
with over 3,800 pounds of force every time you
If
take
you're
a
not,
step.
then you're good.
As far as us humans, though, keep bouncing off your foam pads, my friends.
Yeah.
Or don't, since, you know, you're supposed to be indoors right
Yep,
now.
stay
So
indoors.
just watch the Sonic movie again, #with me. Because what else is there to do at this point? Play Doom Eternal, I suppose? Anyway, that's just a
Fortnite,
theory.
we like Fortnite.
A game theory. Nope, it isn't. It's a
Film
film
theory.
theory. Thanks for watching.
I mean, see, this is not bad at running. He's doing the best running for. I didn't know what these two differences were. Honestly, I never knew which one. I honestly thought it was toe striking because it feels like when you run, when you try to think about your run, you think toe striking, you know, but no. Well, sometimes because you know when you have the weird shoes that have like a little bump thing, yeah, then you're heel striking. But if you have a flat shoe, you're probably toe striking. But more knowledge, okay, in your brain. Make sure you remember that. Sonic is fucking fast. I mean, who didn't know that? But and he also runs normally. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you know, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Next video. Peace.